Good manager doesn't fire people, he hires people and inspires people. People, right? And people will never go out of business.
But what happens when businesses take people for granted? The downfall of the popular dating app, Bumble, is a clear example of that. The stock price of Bumble has fallen by almost 90% from its peak during its 2021 IPO, and the market capitalization has fallen from $13 billion to almost $900 million as of November 2024. The annual revenue growth has been on a downward spiral, and yes, there have been layoffs. When Bumble was launched in 2014, it was hailed as a disruptive force in the online dating industry. But today, it's struggling to even survive. So, what happened? Where did it go wrong? Or is it just bad karma? Let's find out. Bumble's origin story is quite interesting. Whitney Wolfe Herd, a co-founder of Tinder, left the company following a high-profile sexual harassment lawsuit. Determined to create a dating app where women felt empowered, Wolfe Herd launched Bumble in December 2014 with support from Andrei Andreev, founder of the European dating app Badoo. The app's defining feature was simple yet revolutionary. In heterosexual matches, women had to initiate the conversation, which has been famously advertised as "women make the first move." If there was a match, women had 24 hours to send the first message. If they failed to do so, the match would expire. This positioning was very empowering for women, and it felt safer compared to its competitor Tinder, which mostly focused on casual dating and hookups. Bumble's core principle resonated with a growing wave of millennial and Gen Z users, and by 2018, Bumble had surpassed 22 million users and reported an annual revenue of $162 million, a 70% year-over-year increase. Bumble's growth was fueled by savvy partnerships and marketing. Collaborations with brands and celebrities like Serena Williams and Priyanka Chopra, and campaigns promoting female empowerment elevated its cultural cachet. In February 2021, Bumble went public and raised $2.15 billion in its IPO, becoming one of the largest dating app companies by market cap. Wolfe Herd, at 31, became the youngest female billionaire and also the youngest female CEO to take a company public. The COVID-19 pandemic was a significant period for dating apps. As people couldn't go out and their real-life social interactions were limited, the only option left for them were the dating apps. This resulted in substantial growth for their business. But by 2022, Bumble's user base began to plateau. According to data from Sensor Tower, Bumble's global downloads declined by 12% year-over-year, while competitors like Tinder and Hinge saw modest growth. Since then, Bumble's business has been on a downward trajectory. One of the biggest reasons for the downfall of Bumble is its core feature itself, which requires women to initiate the conversation. While it's good in principle, it's not what women really want. Women want to be wooed. They actually want men to make the first move and prefer the traditional approach. The first messages from women were mostly, "hey" or "hi," and they would then put the ball in men's court. After that, the man is supposed to say something smart to take the conversation forward. A survey by Pew Research found that 45% of Bumble's female users felt pressure to send the first message, leading to higher churn rates. Now, let's talk about the matching algorithm of Bumble. The algorithm is designed to keep you single. Because let's say you meet your perfect match and you end up dating or getting married, you would delete the app. That means losing not just one but two customers. So, it doesn't make business sense for the dating app to find you a good match. Feedback from user forums and reviews frequently cited poor quality matches and repetitive profiles. Then there is competition from other apps like Tinder and Hinge. Even though there has been a decline in the entire dating app industry, Tinder and Hinge haven't experienced the same level of drop in their business as Bumble. Tinder is globally the biggest dating app in terms of revenue and user base. In fact, it is more than double the size of Bumble. This also has to do with the fact that Tinder was launched in 2012, 2 years before the launch of Bumble. Its first-mover advantage allowed Tinder to establish itself as the default dating app in many markets. The larger user base creates a stronger network effect, increasing the likelihood of matches and reinforcing user retention. Additionally, Tinder targets a wide audience, from casual daters to those seeking serious relationships. Yes, even though Tinder is marketed towards casual dating, there are people looking for serious long-term relationships on the app. Its simplicity and gamified interface attracts younger demographics, particularly Gen Z and millennials, who account for a significant share of dating app users. On the other hand, Bumble's focus on women-first interactions resonates well with some users, but may feel restrictive to others, particularly in markets where gender dynamics or cultural norms differ. Tinder also benefits from being part of Match Group, which owns other successful apps like Hinge and OkCupid. This ecosystem allows Tinder to share insights and resources, enhancing its competitive edge. Hence, because of its diversified ecosystem, Match Group has successfully been able to offer tailored experiences based on users' geographies, cultures, and preferences. Now, Hinge has been eating into Bumble share with its innovative marketing strategy. Hinge markets itself as designed to be deleted, and this approach has become more appealing to people looking for serious, long-term, meaningful connections. So, Match Group has Tinder, which is meant for short-term connections, and Hinge for long-term connections. And let's not forget Instagram. Though not a dating app, it is still a competitor for Bumble. People quite often slide into people's DMs. How do you think Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra, the investor of Bumble, started dating? Now, let's look at the pricing. Bumble subscriptions cost almost twice as much as Tinder. Bumble has introduced two premium pricing tiers, Bumble Boost and Bumble Premium. And the pricing has alienated its cost-conscious users, particularly in emerging markets. A Statista report showed that over 60% of Bumble's users considered its pricing unaffordable, contributing to a decline in paid subscribers. Another problem with Bumble, and I think it's a pretty big one, is that it is biased towards men. Even though it has been marketed as a feminist app, about 76% of the users on Bumble are men and just 24% are women. Hence, women are spoiled for choice and get plenty of likes. Women have a paradox of choice, which means that they have too many options to choose from, which leads to indecisiveness and decision paralysis. They are overwhelmed by the sheer volume of options they have on the app. So, even if they find a decent match, there is always this thing on the back of their head that there is someone better out there. On the contrary, most men barely get any matches. In addition to the skewed gender ratio, this also has to do with male and female swiping behaviors. Numerous surveys have shown that women don't find 90% of the men on the app attractive and only swipe right 10% of the time, while men are more generous while swiping right. For those who have never used a dating app, swiping right means you like the profile and swiping left means you don't like the profile. If somehow a man does get a match, and the woman doesn't respond within 24 hours, he ends up losing the match. Just about 5% of users on Bumble opt for premium features and are paying members. And as 76% of the users are men, it means that majority of the paying subscribers on the app are men. Now, as most men don't get matches and have been fed up of all the rejection and ghosting, they started leaving the app, which in turn led to a decline in Bumble's paying members. In a bid to diversify revenue streams, Bumble launched several initiatives, including Bumble BFF for platonic friendships and Bumble Biz for professional networking. While innovative, these features failed to gain traction. Data from Apptopia shows that Bumble BFF accounted for less than 5% of active users by 2023, and Bumble Biz saw even lower engagement. See, for professional networking, there is LinkedIn, and for platonic friendships, there are plenty of meetup groups and apps already in the market. In 2024, Bumble launched the Opening Moves feature. This was aimed at taking pressure off women from initiating the conversation. How it worked was, instead of only women initiating chats, Bumble's core concept, women can add a prompt question to their profile, and men can respond to it to start a conversation. The response to this has been lukewarm, with many feeling that this change dilutes the brand's uniqueness and goes against its core concept. And to add insult to injury, Bumble's recent marketing campaign was a total disaster. The campaign centered on anti-celibacy messaging, which included billboards and ads with slogans such as, "You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer," and "Thou shalt not give up on dating and become a nun." The ads received widespread backlash and were criticized for shaming women who chose celibacy for personal, cultural, or trauma-related reasons. Many felt the campaign conflicted with Bumble's founding ethos of prioritizing women's autonomy and empowerment. Bumble quickly apologized and removed the ads, committing to donate to related causes, but the damage to its reputation persisted as many users expressed frustration online, with some even vowing to leave the platform altogether. People have slowly started realizing that dating apps are not the solution and have started looking for other options. For example, run clubs have started coming up in a big way and are becoming a dating app alternative in a lot of cities. Basically, a group of people get together and run. This way, they also get to meet new people and stay fit at the same time. We all have increasingly started living in a virtual world. Social media and all these dating apps were supposed to bring us closer together. But they have actually done the opposite. Loneliness is on a rise. People have followers but no friends. See, human beings are more than just a couple of good pictures, a resume, or a smart bio. They are multidimensional. Love is the most beautiful thing that someone can experience. But dating apps have commoditized love. So, the downfall of Bumble and other dating apps is maybe just bad karma. Honestly, I want to live in a world without dating apps. A world with real-life social interactions. A world where we respect each other. A world without ghosting. A world where you respond to someone's hi. A world where you see a person's emotions on their face and not through an emoji. So, do you think Bumble and other dating apps have any hope? Or you think the world would be a better place without them? And how has your experience been with dating apps? Let me know in the comments. A lot of research and effort goes into making these videos. So, it would be great if you could support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you. See you in the next one.